Hello, and welcome to my One Piece review of chapter 942, the Daimyo of Hakumai, SHIMOTSUKI YASUIE. Wow, really intense chapter, lots to talk about this week, especially regarding Yasu, so let's get into this. As I said, lot of stuff to talk about Yasu, Tonoyasu, or here as we now know him as SHIMOTSUKI YASUIE. Lot to talk about, especially towards the end, but you know, we'll do this in order, so I'll get to that later on in the review. I'll leave some timestamps down below so you can skip to your favourite parts of this week's chapter. But first of all, let's talk about his name, SHIMOTSUKI YASUIE. At first, when I did my review, I didn't actually cotton on to this, but Zoro's hometown is also called SHIMOTSUKI. So, definite connection here. I like the fact that Oda did this in a very subtle way. He just put it out there, you know, no one referenced it, no one talked about it. He's just mentioned really like off to the side in an SBS that yes, somebody from Wano went to the East Blue. We don't know who, apart from the carpenter. We know that the carpenter guy and one other person went there, and that the other person had kids there. So it looks like they definitely set up this town and this dojo. So very interesting stuff. Zoro here doesn't find out Toniyasu's full name, but hopefully that means that in the future we're actually going to get that reveal, and it's going to be really interesting to see what Zoro's reaction to that is and how it all ties into his master and his hometown. Also, a lot of really good stuff with Zoro later on in this chapter as well, and again I'll leave some timestamps down below. But let's talk about what actually happens here at the start. We see Tonoyasu, Yasui. So many names this character has now. But yeah, Tonoyasu, I'm going to keep calling him Tonoyasu. We see him here in his early days, back when he was known as the Hedgehog, and back when he was a really important figure, one of the daimyos of Wano Kingdom, and in line to be the Shogun, or one of the people that was in line to be the Shogun. And in this scene, we see Yasu talking to somebody in silhouette. When I first read through it, I was a little bit confused as to who it was. Only on going back, I was like, oh, okay, that person is Oden. It's a little bit confusing because of the fact that he speaks about himself in third person, and then he starts talking about the fact that he wants to go out travelling, and obviously we know that was Oden. But yeah, it was a little bit confusing here because nobody actually calls him Oden by his name, and the only time they say Oden is when he's talking to himself in third person. But it definitely is Oden. It's good to see here that Yasu, you know, he was like hitting Oden over the head and stuff, and we've built up this image that Oden was this big powerful guy, you know, he took down Ashura Douji and stuff in the past, and here we're seeing the fact that, you know, Tonoyasu was also a complete badass and was like giving Oden some stick. Really good stuff. Unfortunately, again, Oden is in silhouette. Oda really teasing us with what Oda looks like. It would have been good to get a reveal here. That would have been really epic, considering the stuff that happens later on in this chapter. Really would have been some really good epic stuff, but I guess he's holding that off for later on. There's a lot of thought out there in the community. Is this somebody that we know? A lot of people have been comparing the silhouette to Green Bull. I'm not really sure. I don't really think it's going to be Green Bull. I feel like if it was Green Bull will be a little bit more relevant to this Wano arc, and there'd be a little few more references or subtle hints about it. People were saying that like the hair and stuff in the silhouette kind of matches. All I really remember of Green Bull is that he had a great big chin, or at least it looked like he had a big chin. We don't really see that here. So I don't really think it's Green Bull. I think Oda's just teasing us. He's letting us speculate, kind of like what he's doing with Kawamatsu, kind of like what he did with Big Mom way back, you know, all the way back in Fisherman Island, where we were only kind of seeing her in little bits of silhouette, and we didn't get that proper reveal till we went to Whole Cake Island. So we cut back to the present day, and we see Tonoyasu. He's being held up, you know, he's on that crucifix, he's about to be executed. This is execution day, and we also get a confirmation here from X Drake that, like Kushiro wanted, they're doing the execution to draw attention away from Kurosaki's funeral. They're kind of doing this to, you know, draw attention away from what happened in the Shogun's palace and stuff. But also I still think that maybe there's something in there to do with the fact that Kushiro knows that Hiyori Kurosaki is still alive and is just trying to divert attention away from it. Again, more interesting stuff. Just little little hints about Kishiro in here that's really making me really like his character. And what I'm really liking in this chapter as well is what's going on with Tonoyasu and Toneyasu's character. Because he reveals here, actually, I'm not the Witching Hour boy. Last chapter, we were all like, oh, he's the Witching Hour boy, I can't believe it. Well, actually, no, I think it was a little bit obvious, you know, and there was a lot of speculation, a lot of hype around that. And here he's like, oh, I was only joking, I was just, you know, saying that. And this is something that's kind of plays throughout this one, where Tonoyasu, while he's on this execution thing, he's taking on a lot of the stuff himself, and he's drawing people's attention away from the rebellion. We saw that the rebellion, it was starting to fall apart. The plan was starting to unravel. They were starting to get like a little bit of deception, in like a, not deception, but conflict within the ranks with like Law and Ashura Douji not joining Kinemon and stuff. And here Tonoyasu is really taking it upon himself to make it look like he was the perpetrator, make everybody else in Wano feel like, look, by capturing this guy and by executing him, that's it, the rebellion is seized. And he's also planting a few more other subtle little seeds in here, which we'll get to in a little bit as well later on. The other thing that he also says is the fact that that little pamphlet that they were holding out that had like the coded message for the plans that Kinemon and Inuarashi and stuff had drawn up. He's saying that he made that up and he was just doing it as a prank. And that all the people that had the crescent moon tattoo, they just kind of got drawn into this, you know, by mistake. That was just like a popular thing from way back in the day when he was around, and he's really trying to draw that attention away, and we see it working a little bit. We see Orochi's henchmen, they start to question about the fact, oh, why have we captured all these people? Are they really innocent? And he's also planting some other seeds here, calling out the Shogun, giving us a little bit of a hint as to how the Shogun got into power. You know, he just kind of blitzed the void left when Oden got killed and was like, you guys, to all the other daimyo, you guys, you know, you have to follow me. They fought against him, and Orochi brought Kaido out, you know, he's like little secret weapon, his trump card, and Kaido blitzed it, and that's why Orochi is now in power. He kind of like did like a little undercut to get into that position of power. And we also find out in one little bit of dialogue that way back in the past, Orochi owes something to Oden, so that's another interesting thing that might come up a little bit later on. I do wonder what that is. But yeah, he also starts planting these seeds in Orochi's followers about the fact that Orochi was a very paranoid man. And Tonoyasu here is saying that, oh yeah, you know, I helped spread around these rumours about the fact that the Kozuki family's come in, and isn't it pathetic that your leader is claiming that he's done all these wonderful things for Wano and the capital. All of that stuff was already in place before he took over. Also, don't you think it's silly that he's so worried about the ghosts of the past and stuff, and you see that his people in the ranks, they're starting to question, and they're like, she'll hear you. This is all firing up the Shogun. We see the Shogun coming in. He's on the roof with a gun, and he just wants to execute Tonoyasu himself. I really like his carriage as well. Last chapter, he was like, get my carriage, bring the horses. And I was like, oh, horses? Is it going to be like Speed? Is that going to be one of them? But it's like these people with like horse legs, like centaurs. They remind me of like the people that Trafalgar Law help create on like Punk Hazard and stuff. Obviously Smile users, and we get into some other good stuff with the Smile fruits later on as well. It was just a funny little touch, you know. It's a gag that isn't played on here, but it's a gag that from reading last week, it really pays off today. And, you know, nice little good subtle hint there from Oda as well, where you always got to pay attention to every little thing every character says. So yeah, Orochi, he's on his way to the platform, he's got his gun ready, he's getting riled up by what Toneyasu's saying. Equally, we've got Ashura Douji here. He's sneaking up on Hold'em, who's watching the broadcast, and he's like, whoa, let me listen as to what's going on. So he's now listening to Toneyasu's speech. We see Kinemon and Nekomamushi, not Nekomamushi. We see Kinemon and Inuarashi turn up, and they're listening to his speech, and we get here that Kinemon remembers who Tonoyasu is, because he says Yasui. We also get Otoko turns up to see her dad up there on the execution pole, along with Zoro and Hiyori, as well as Brook. And they're wearing disguises as well so that they can't be seen. Still think it's pretty obvious that there's this guy who clearly looks like a skeleton, but they're there now in the crowd, but all eyes are on Tonoyasu up on the stage, so you know they're not obviously getting caught out just yet that they're there in that arena. And then we get to that scene with a big smile on his face. Tonoyasu goes down. Orochi shoots him, riddles him with holes, and we see him fall off of the execution platform. Clearly now Tonoyasu is dead. Oda actually sacrifice somebody in this arc. Oda's getting a lot better now at actually killing off characters, and wow, this is really, really powerful stuff. You know, we only met Tonoyasu a few chapters ago. We barely really got to know him, but I'm really feeling his death here. That's just testament to how Oda really built up this character. You know, he built little connections with quite a few characters throughout this. We got a little bits of backstory about him in Ibisu Town. We saw Otoko, we got to know Otoko, then we found out that Otoko is his daughter, and all of those connections kind of come in place, and you see him die here, and it is really generally very, very sad that this new character we only just got introduced to has died, and his death here I feel is going to be really, really important for this arc, because he has laid his seeds. He's put seeds in the enemy's minds, questioning Orochi. He's deflected all of the people looking at the rebellion and thinking that they've caught the rebellion. And we also find out that he's laid down some new plans for the meeting point. The old meeting point, you know, that got found out. So he's laid down some new ones to everybody who was in the cage. We see that guy who looks like Bellamy. He has the plans. So yeah, Toniyasu's sacrifice here really has gone down as a true hero. No confirmation as to whether or not he has the Willard, but he died with a smile on his face. And for me, I think that still counts. I wouldn't be surprised if later on we do get that reveal. So I'm still going to go to that theory that it is going to be Shin-Otsuki Yasu, but we don't get that confirmation here. But again, really powerful stuff, and what is equally really powerful is how it ends. He falls down, we see Otoko, tears in her eyes, all of the people from Ibisu down, tears in their eyes, but they're all laughing. Zoro's there and he doesn't understand. You can see he's really like angry about the fact that everybody's laughing at this guy's death. He spent a little bit of time with Tonoyasu, so he's built up a little connection here. Obviously him also finding out about Otoko. Then we get this beautiful scene where Hiyori Kumurasaki tells Zoro, look, these people, they're laughing because that's all they can do. They can't be sad, all they can do is laugh. And you see Zoro completely change. He goes from like being angry at them to just very still, very straight. He's got like the lines over his eyes, and it really reminds me of like Zoro when he was with Kuma, and Kuma put all of the pain, all of Luffy's pain into Zoro, and he just stood there, you know. Zoro really looks here like he's focused. I really feel like from this point on he is going to be leading this part of the rebellion, you know, while Luffy's in prison. Zoro's really going to step up here, and I feel like he's really now got like a cause and a motive and stuff, especially when he finds out what Toniyasu's real name was and stuff. Really good stuff for Zoro as well. Just a small thing, but really good. One tiny panel, and you can build up so much here about Zoro and what is potentially going to happen with Zoro here. The stuff with the smiles, well, there's some interesting stuff here. She says that they can only smile because of the smile devil fruits. Some people were saying that maybe this is like a side effect of creating the smiles, that, you know, it does something to your emotions and it leaves you just being happy. I'm not sure, because we've seen in other things that, you know, like the dwarves and stuff, the Tonyata, when they were making it, they didn't show any of this. We didn't see any of this in the Punk Hazard factories. We haven't seen this with any of the other groups in Wano, only in Ibisu Town. So I'm not really sure why only these people in Ibisu Town would be affected in this way by this side effect. It could be something like that. The way I initially read it was the fact that in using the smiles, you can take over a kingdom with this army and rob people of everything, and so that all of these people in Ibisu Town, the only thing they had left was their ability to smile. They didn't have any money, they didn't have any food, you know, they didn't have any future prospects. The only thing that they still had was their ability to smile and be happy. So I thought maybe that's what they were talking about, but it could be something to do with the actual byproduct of creating the smiles. That'd be interesting to see going forward. It's not really made that clear here, but definitely there's something to do with these smile devil fruits that has a negative effect. And yeah, that's where it ends. Toniyasu's sacrifice, so sad, but at the same time, really hype. Zoro witnessed it. You can see he's now determined. Ashura Douji witnessed it. We don't know now how he's going to react. I imagine that he's probably now going to join his side. We see deception in Orochi's ranks. We see people just in the flower capital and stuff starting to maybe question Orochi's rule. And we got all of the people who have been captured in that prison. We know Law is going there to rescue them, so we're going to get like a Zoro-Law kind of team up, and they're going to really lead the rebellion. The only people we didn't actually see were like Frankie, Usopp and Nami. They weren't there. I thought they would have come with the people from Ebisu Town. And we also see at the end, we see Big Mum is getting a little bit closer to Udon Prison. Unfortunately, we're on break next week, so we're not going to find out straight away what's happening, but really interesting stuff. For me, this chapter, it's a gold tier plus event exclusive Noir Widowmaker. Really, really well done. The art was beautiful. It was a lot of talking. It pretty much just focused on Tonoyasu. We only got that little bit at the end with Zoro, but the stuff that it has given us to, you know, talk about over the next few weeks has been great. The stuff that Oda did, the character building he did with Tonoyasu and planting all those little seeds with the other characters really paid off, because you really felt the impact here of Tonoyasu sacrificing himself. I feel more so in some ways than it did with Pound. Yeah, great stuff. Rest in peace, Shinotsuki Yasue. Hey, so thanks for watching. What did you think? Let me know about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed my video, maybe give it a like, and if you really liked it, why not subscribe? You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. Oh, and here's a related video you might enjoy, and something more fresh. I've been Hegassen, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!